The Championship is well and truly back. It all kicks off tonight up at St Andrews, Birmingham versus Ipswich. An absolute cracker to start the Championship season off with. And we've got opening day to look forward to. Bristol City kick off their campaign tomorrow up at Bramall Lane playing Sheffield United. I'm going to be trying to predict all 12 games on opening weekend. Word of warning, it is probably the hardest weekend to predict because we have no evidence of what teams have gone on for the past season or whatever, and some teams look very different to what last season looks like. We have new teams, 6 new teams from the Premier League and from League One, but it is all going to be an exciting mix, and yeah, let's get on with it. So the first game, Birmingham versus Ipswich, Friday night under the lights at St Andrews. It is going to be loud, it is going to be noisy, it is going to be some curtain raiser for the Championship 25-26 campaign. Birmingham, we don't know what to expect, but we know it's going to be some team, incredibly competitive. Lots of people have them in the top 6. Lots of people have them in the top 2. You can find out what I have, where I have Birmingham in my Championship predictions. Ipswich, newly relegated from the Premier League, they've had a bit of a restructure, particularly in the middle of the park. Birmingham, I think that midfield battle is going to be really interesting. Doyle, Iwata, and Pike against that new Ipswich midfield, whether Jens Eustace is involved or not, is going to be interesting as well. Whatever it is, I think Ipswich are going to find it tough. I think they're going to find the environment tough, and they're going to find the atmosphere tough. And for that reason, and the momentum that Birmingham have, and I think star quality they do have in the final third, I think they'll win this, and I think they'll nick it. And I think it might just take a little bit of time for Ipswich to get going. So I'm going to go Birmingham 1, Ipswich 0. Moving into the Saturday kickoffs, and 3 early kickoffs. First of them is Coventry versus Hull, and the only notes I've written for all of this is Charlie Hughes. What's going to happen? Hull have apparently rejected a bid from Coventry. Apparently Hull don't want to sell, all that good stuff. The normal shenanigans, but it certainly throws a spanner in the works. Coventry, quite stable, quite relaxed. They've not changed manager like Hull have. And it looks like a good squad that should be competitive now at near the top of the division. Hull, exact opposite, very chaotic summer again, and they've brought in quite a few players. Lundstrom, McBurney, are they going to be involved? We'll find out. Jukurovic as a new manager as well. I have my question marks over Hull. I think Coventry at the CBS, fantastic, aren't they? They barely lost to anyone apart from Burnley and Leeds at the CBS. They lost to someone in the playoffs, but they pretty much beat everyone they were sort of below in the Championship, which is brilliant. And I think they'll do the same again. I think they'll be too strong for Hull, so I'm going to go Coventry 2, Hull 0. There are some tasty fixtures on opening day, and Southampton versus Wrexham certainly falls into that category. If this was at the race course, I'd probably give Wrexham more of a chance of upsetting the odds and probably beating Southampton. But the fact that it's at St Mary's, and the fact that I think Will Still will probably want a good start. They brought in a new striker, Downs, from FC Cologne, who's probably want to get off the mark. Southampton have got a lot of star quality. Wrexham, I think new signings such as Connor Cody, Kiefer Moore, Lewis O'Brien, George Thomason, Ryan Hardy, etc., will take a little bit of time to gel in. They'll probably still have more to do. Wrexham, they still haven't announced Nathan Broadhead and stuff like that. They'll probably have more business to conclude. Saints, they look nice and stable. They look pretty much ready to go, apart from a few areas. I think they'll be too strong for Wrexham at St Mary's on opening day. So I'll go Southampton 3, Wrexham 1. Going down to the Valley then, final early kickoff on Saturday is Charlton against Watford. Charlton newly promoted from League One. They've made a lot of signings. That might take a little bit of time to completely adapt and gel into the style of play. They have added a lot of quality in the forward areas as well, a significant upgrade on what they had in League One. Watford, they're a little bit of an unknown under Paolo Pezzolano. Is that going to take a little bit of time to get going? Is that going to be a straight impact, as we saw with Regis Labris last season, who won opening 4 or 5 games up at Sunderland? I don't know. I'm a bit confused on this one. Charlton will make it really tough. They'll make the Valley a really difficult place for everyone in this division to go. Watford, no exclusion from that. So I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be tight margins, low margins. I was looking at 0-0 and backing that 0-0. But with Charlton being at home, the home advantage, the signings they made in the forward areas, like Charlie Kelman, Isaac Alafe, are about to 3 standout ones. I think I'm going to back them for 1-0. I think I'm going to go Charlton 1, Watford 0. Next up, West Brom versus Blackburn at the Hawthorns. 2 intriguing teams, I'd say. West Brom, a bit of an unknown in terms of what you could expect from Ryan Mason. I like the signings of Hegbo and Nat Phillips. They've not added too much, but what they have added I quite like. Blackburn, they've not added too much either, but I'm a little bit less convinced by or a little bit less excited by what they have added. Probably expect more movement in the coming days. This is obviously Valerian Ishmael's return to the Hawthorns and to West Bromwich Albion. I think Blackburn's momentum towards the back end last season, obviously that doesn't always mean it transfers at the start of this season. I think they might take a little bit of confidence from that. They have lost quite a few players, like Terrence Dolan, Andy Vine, Danny Bath, etc. But I think they'll be solid enough to get a draw at the Hawthorns, and I think to stifle West Brom. I think West Brom might be a little bit of a slow starter as well. So I'll go West Brom 1, Blackburn 1. Going to the Kassam, Oxford take on Pompey. Pompey won this fixture 2-0 last season. It was one of the few away wins that Pompey got. I don't know. I think Oxford will be hard to beat under Gary Rowett. They always are. Gary Rowett teams always are. Pompey, they've made quite a few additions, nice additions. John Swift, Luke Leroux, the Hungarian fellow whose name I can't pronounce nor remember. Today they've added Yang, who's on loan at QPR. I quite like the additions. I think they'll be better away from home this season compared to last season. Pompey, I think the majority of their points will still be at Fratton Park. Oxford, they might find it difficult this season to survive. I'll go for a draw. I'll go for a 1-1 to start things out for both sides. Stoke versus Derby is up next, and straight off the bat, this absolutely reeks of a draw, reeks of a 0-0. It was 0-0 on the final day of last season between these two sides. Obviously, that game was at Pride Park. Context is key. Both sides on that day, a draw would have probably been enough, or very, very unlikely that a draw would have relegated either side on the last day. I think I'm going to go for more of the same. I think both sides are going to be strong defensively, so they'll cancel each other out. I'm going to go Stoke 0, Derby 0. QPR versus Preston up next. QPR also probably fall into we don't really know what we're going to get at the start of the season. They've got a new manager in Julian Stefan. There are high reviews, and he's relatively highly rated from his time over in France with Rennes and Strasbourg. I think it'll be interesting to see how they develop. Preston obviously got that horrendous momentum in the back end of last season. I said it in my predictions video. They've made a high volume of signings. How much of them are going to make an impact? How much of them are going to take them to the next level? How much of them are really going to be an upgrade? On that, I'm a little bit unconvinced. I think Preston will probably be better at home. So this away game at QPR probably won't be the easiest or the nicest one. So I'll go with QPR's sort of attacking quality they've added, particularly in Kwame Poku and Burrell. Dembele, Chair already there. So I'll go for QPR to be a little bit too strong for Preston. I'll go QPR 2, Preston 1. Next up, Norwich versus Millwall at Carrow Road. Two teams will probably be wanting to sort of be pushing in around the playoff places this season. Norwich have obviously made a lot of signings, a lot of exciting ones, a lot of expensive ones. They've got a really good manager now in place in Liam Manning. Millwall have added less, but they've added nicely. I think they've picked the spots they wanted to add in, and they've done so brilliantly. Alfie Doughty being the latest of high-profile signing. Josh Coburn they obviously got back, who'll play with Mihailo Ivanovic probably. I think there are a lot of good things going on at both clubs, so I'll go for a bit of a cancelling each other out, and I'll go for an entertaining one with attacking quality in both sides, Ivanovic and Sargent, etc., etc. So I will go for a Desmond at Carrow Road, Norwich 2, Millwall 2. The final 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday is Middlesbrough versus Swansea up at the Riverside. Borough feel chaotic. Borough feel like a side that's not quite ready for the start of the season and probably still will be working up until the end of the transfer window. That's not ideal going into this game, considering Swansea are probably the flip of that. They've not made a lot of signings, I'll take that back, but they've concluded a lot of their business early, like Ethan Galbraith and Cameron Burgess. Casey's coming on loan from West Ham, the centre-back. And they probably look a lot more settled. They had a nice end to last season under Alan Shewn, who's still there. He's now a permanent manager. Rob Edwards might take some time to get things going. So I'll go for my first away win of the predictions, and I'll go for Swansea to go up to the Riverside in that long journey and win 2-1. And will I go for my second away win prediction in this video in Sheffield United versus Bristol City, which is obviously the later kickoff on Saturday, 5:30 up at Bramall Lane. It's going to be really difficult for Bristol City. It's a bit of a traumatic event, a bit of a traumatic fixture, considering how last season's playoffs went for City. Obviously, a 6-0 defeat. We'll gloss over that. Let's just pretend it's a new start. Nothing happened. Nothing happened ever. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really difficult game. Look, even though Sheffield United have lost a lot of the loan players and Vinny Souza and Ahmed Odzic, and they've got a new manager, they've still got hell of a lot of quality in that team. Gus Harmer's still there, Tyrese Campbell, etc. Callum O'Hare. That should be too strong for Bristol City. But we've added nicely Randall, Vitek, Emil Reese. There's some nice additions in there, not too much. There's not a lot of churn at Bristol City. Don't expect to be a lot of churn from now till the end of the window. We've still got Jason Knight. We've still got a lot of the team, apart from Naki Wells and George Earthy, that was there last season, which helped us get into the playoffs. So there's a strong core still remaining. I think both teams will take time to adapt to their managers, and that might prove a little bit of a cancelling out. I think it will be competitive. We always have been. We even at our worst, we probably are going to be relatively competitive. So I'll go for a draw, and that might be slightly too optimistic. But I'll go for Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 1, a repeat of the score in the league fixture last season. And for the final game on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, is Leicester against Sheffield Wednesday. It feels irrelevant talking about Sheffield Wednesday in terms of football on the pitch sense, because it's just a complete mess. And what sort of team are they going to put out is still relatively unknown. You'd presume a lot of youth players will be in the squad or in the starting 11. That is going to be really, really hard for them. That'll be hard for them in any championship game, but to come up against the Leicester side, who are a year one parachute team, who are really, really powerful. The last time when they were in this division, won the league and were very, very good. They have a very strong squad, a powerful squad. I think it's be so difficult. And Marcus Fuentes will be looking to make a quick start, whereas Henrik Pedersen, well, all hands to the pump, and hopefully not a battering. I have gone for a bit of a battering though. I've gone Leicester 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Look, even if this was a Danny Roll, a normal Sheffield Wednesday situation, I'd probably still back Leicester, probably. But all is going on, I think 4-0. Yeah, I think that's probably just about right. But that is it. Those are my predictions for the opening weekend. All 12 games. Get yours in the comment section down below. So excited for the Championship to be back. Can't wait for Birmingham versus Ipswich today, later on. And yeah, hopefully a result for Bristol City. That'll be Sheffield United. A bit of a different scoreline to what it was last time would be wonderful. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Get your predictions for all the games in the comment section down below. But that's it. Thank you very much. Keep safe. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.